published my first two books, It's Time to Heal and Completion in 2016 and 2017, I actually wanted to turn my blog into a website. And that's all I wanted it to be, just a website for men and women just to come together to talk about their pain, turning it into purpose, basically being transparent. Let's have transparent talks. But not knowing that the demand was so high for people to say, oh, Esther, how did you write this book? I want to learn. I want to be inspired. And something in me said, you know what, Esther, you need to start doing workshops. So I started my first workshop in 2018 in that little room over there in the evening, and some of you guys came. And I said to myself, I have to continue this. But at the time, I didn't have a strategy. And my strategy was just, you know what, Esther, just let it flow. Let it flow. And that's my encouragement. As you are building yourselves, as you're going into a career, don't feel like you need to have it so structured out. I had to just let it flow. Even setting it up, I said to myself, is it going to be a private limited company? Is it going to be a sole trader? I just had to do so much research, and I did. So 9 months later, I registered it. And also I started going to workshops and networking events, which helped so much. I highly would tell you this, that your network is your net worth. So be in the right environment at the right time. It's very important. You need to know good people that can help you get further. And then giving opportunities to speak and to talk about my journey has led me here. And I know that with my third book, From Glory to Glory, that's what enabled me to turn it into a publishing company. Because I wanted people to know that what they're going through isn't just for them. And if I went through that and I didn't have anything to show for, authentic work wouldn't exist. So that pain that I went through in 2018 has brought back the fruit of authentic work now. So I want to encourage you that everything that you're going through, you can use certain situations in your life to bring about a great harvest. Even the rejection that you go through, you can turn it into a business, into a book, into a poem, even in your job. There are so many lessons that some of us who are working full time are learning from. Their managers, those who are their employees around them, so much that you can learn from people. And you use that for the betterment of the community to help you. But ultimately, remember that when you are turning pain into purpose, you must realize that you have to do it selflessly, even if it costs, because this costs. This costs. It takes a lot to come up here and share my story. But the joy of sharing it with you, knowing that you will go home and take something away, that is my joy. Just knowing that I poured into you and you will take on board what everything in this book says that will lead you to the stage of abundance. And I'm not even saying that I've even arrived, because I'm still on a journey. I'm still becoming. I'm not saying I've arrived. But I can say that I'm not where I was before, 6 years ago. I can surely see that progression. And everyone here can say that they are not where they were 6 years ago. And you shouldn't be. You should be one step further ahead, one step at a time, day by day. Take breaks. Speak to someone. If you need to cry, cry. Please. Crying is good for the soul. I'm telling you, crying is therapy. Crying is healing. Don't always act strong as well. If you need to break down in humility, then do so. Because there's only so much that we can carry. Esther, how do you get these titles? How do you get the inspiration to write these books? And one of the things that I do, I love to analyze the season that I'm in and the season that others are in. That's the way I get my inspiration. So right now, inflation is real, it's going up, things are getting expensive. I'm talking about abundant progress in such a very difficult period. And I like doing that because I like to prove that you can still be successful in drought. Sometimes when you think that things are hard, you automatically want to give up. And I don't have that giving up spirit in me. I can't.
That's right.
And I won't ever. But one thing that gives me inspiration is to know that when I write, I'm writing because there are people that are not even yet born that are going to benefit from this book. Everyone here has a story to share. And if you're confident enough to talk about that story to the upcoming generation, you've given them books to write and titles to be inspired by. Because they'll say, oh my gosh, I remember Esther wrote that book, It's Time to Heal. And when I was at university, I failed my exams 3 times. So now I can relate to Esther's story. I remember that time when I was 15 years old and I had so many spots on my face. Esther wrote a book, Confident Face. Now I understand why. I know that my skin will get better. So the inspiration comes from what you go through and what the environment at hand goes through. Think about our generation, those who are in leadership. They're not having it easy. Politics, division, all these things that you need to talk about that people need to be educated for now, for the future of the generation behind us. And I always say this, that when you train young people, it is for their benefit because they are looking at you. I'm always admired by people who play instruments young or sing young because they've created that legacy, they've created that path for young people to imitate. But I think about beautiful PJ here, he's 5. In the next 10 years, 15, 20, 25, 30, he's going to imitate his mum. That is Sarah's legacy. That is Sarah's book. Sarah can write a book about how she raised her son. And it will inspire other young women who are going to raise their sons or their daughters in the future. So that's how the inspiration starts, because you're not writing for yourself, you're writing for the future generation. You're also writing to encourage others that their pain is going to make so much sense when they get to a stage of maturity. Because when you're writing a book, you're all over the place. And I'm sure some of the authors can relate. When you're writing, writer's block is there. Am I making sense? Does the title flow? I have been there. But ultimately, it just comes into such a beautiful package because it flows. And every chapter in this book flows so well. The hard parts is chapter 1, 2, 3. The intermediate parts are 4, 5. But the ones that you really want is 6, 7, and 8. The art of gratitude, abundance and progress, from excellence to excellence, and how your faith matters. I can't emphasize enough on how I've had to make this book so easy to read and digest, because everyone can resonate with it. Everyone. And that's how the inspiration comes, by writing books. Titles don't come easy, but this title, for some reason, it came so quick that I knew that abundant progress it had to be, and I entitled it Maximizing the Gradual Steps of the Journey. We are all on a journey here. No one has made it. The only time I know we will make it is when we see our maker face to face. But on this earth right now, we are still on a journey, and we must appreciate the journey that we're on and not neglect it.
Can we just give Esther a round? Let's and give Lady Esther a round of applause.
I was telling my friends quite a few weeks ago that this book launch means so much to me, because I know when I started in 2016 and I didn't have a clue of how it would turn out. I didn't even know. And to see 3 years after the pandemic having a 6-book launch here is an honour. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you that's taken the time to come to celebrate this book. And I'm really hoping that you've all gained something from today that you will take away with you in your personal and professional endeavours. My joy is just to see you all abundantly blessed in every area of your life, that you will never lack any good thing. And when those hard times come, I didn't say if, I said when, because they will come. Don't neglect it. Don't suppress it. Because those hard times make you. Those hard times build you. So I want to encourage you again, you are making progress abundantly, one step at a time.
Amen.
So be encouraged. Thank you all.